I kind of decided at the last minute to come on here. Let me turn, kind of getting things set up. Got to get the old power cord going. Let me know what you got going this week. Also, everybody knows this feeling, huh? If you got, don't forget if you're cruising through to hit the like button. That's always appreciated. This brings more like-minded people like yourself in and conversation, which is always good because we learn together. You learn from me, I learn from you. That's then also, like I said, hit the like. Make sure, let me know what you got going for the week. Any questions? If you're a young buck starting out, don't feel afraid. Don't feel like you're going to get criticized. The moderators and everybody, myself, do a pretty good job about keeping everything nice and clean. We definitely appreciate being here, and we definitely appreciate our moderators because they help when I can't. So I watch the screen all the time. They're filtering out things. Good, super good group of guys. I don't think we got any girls, but if there is girls out there, we love you too. Let yourself be known. Say, I'm here. Say, I'm here. I'm here. I don't know if we got, that's one thing we need. We need a garage door chick. I don't think there's a garage door chick out there, is there? That I know of on the old YouTube world. That's what we could use. Maybe we could have some drama. Plus, they might know something there. They're always easier on the eyes, right? All right, we got Juicy. Juicy. Where's the more Juicy? We need Juicy. Let me find the power. Oh, I dropped it. No power for you. It's gone. Oh, there we go. Get herself some water. I don't have any popcorn, unfortunately. I see Cap must be got somebody's impact must have finally took to who. I don't know if anybody uses the rigid. Oh, it smells new. Ooh, it's got the belt clip. Clips never last for me. They always rattle loose. Check that puppy out. That's beautiful. That's a nice looking gun right there. Yes. One thing I was always kind of bummed me is they still haven't changed it. Is they do the light down here. I don't think I like the light so much down there. Let's see if this thing got any Juicy. I see it's got a couple batteries here. Got the lights on it. It's not so bad, right? Looks like it slips. It's got the clips on the side. Kind of like a Milwaukee, I guess, in a sense. Let's see how. Sounds good. Sounds healthy. I'd use it. Ooh, it's got speed. Ooh, I think Caps has got this. I think his DeWalt has this, where you can have one, which I am kind of jealous about that. I don't know if Milwaukee's done that. I think Cap's got it on his DeWalt's. Oh, hell yeah, look at that. There's 1, 2, a little faster, and scream in 3. Nice. I don't know. That's why, like I said, I'd use this all day. This wouldn't bother me. I don't care. Like I said, it's got the lock position in the middle, right? Yeah, that's good. Love it. Ooh, it even comes with, hopefully you can take that off if you don't want that. Yeah, you can. There's a little screw. It's got a little holster for you, huh? That's kind of a neat little feature. I don't think I'd use that. I really don't use the clip that much, but I know some of you guys do. Not bad, though. It's always nice when I knew. Be nice if they put dates on them. Should probably tell. The problem is it's black. Where do you put it on? You almost have to engrave it. This one got a date? No date. Put it under here, I guess. But that's why we just carry different tools. Because guess what? I ain't going to go with this. I can't hide this. I can't even disguise this and say, oh, no. This one was mine. Mine was whatever. You can label them all day and stuff. But when you're on big jobs, you got a bunch of guys working. These things all start doing, if I get a new one, he get a one, even if it's all right here, baby. It's different. Ain't work. So anyway, what's going on out there? See the chats. Ooh, so I seen Tanner at the bottom there for a second. Said something about milk. Got yourself a glass of milk, dude. Yeah, it's not moonshine, guys. We're not there yet. Life's been pretty good. Don't need it anymore. Let's see here. Tanner just got here. Researching service body. I think I'm gonna go get was it Royal service body? That tastes good. You're gonna have to let me know on that, Tanner. I don't think I've ever heard of a Royal service body. I got my other phone. If it'll link up. You're gonna look at the sky for a second. I'll plug in. You like it like that? You like it? Hey, we got 12 supposedly. Not it may be AI. So if you guys don't mind, please hit the like button, just to make sure we're humans here, not the AI taking over. Please. Cheers, by the way. So Royal, huh? Maybe you can let me know in the comments here. I'll look it up if I get this phone fired up. Rusty, what's up, guys? Rusty, hope you're good. I read your email, Rusty. That's pretty sweet. Luckily, you got the job on that. That was a pretty hack job. He showed me basically some rookie put in opener, photo eye wires and nuts and bolts not tight, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty. Tanner says I'm not easy on the eyes. That's okay. I'm not easy on the eyes either. That's what my wife tells me all the time. Let's see. That's firing up still. Oh, is it tune or? It says I subscribed. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Like I said, you're more welcome. If you got any questions, garage door business, it doesn't even really matter. You can be anything. You know what I mean? If you got some input, put it in. You know, in the service-based business, or you're thinking about getting in the business. I don't care if you're a fireman or even a police officer. Y'all get information that we don't. We don't know it all. At least I don't. John from Ohio, what do you do? Okay, so John, what do I do? Good question. I do get this a lot. Right down there. We do garage doors. We do garage doors and gates. We're a garage door and gate business, service business. Been in the business for 18 years. I do run other businesses. I do have rental properties. So I kind of a mix of all. I'm kind of a contractor, handyman, everything under the sun, it feels like sometimes. John, let me know. What do you do? Oops. Tanner says, oh, just trying to figure out, what do you got? Just trying to figure out how I can watch the season premiere of Yellowstone, but looks like I will have to watch tomorrow since it doesn't stream until tomorrow without cable. Oh, Yellowstone, but did they get rid of one of the actors? If they got rid of one of the actors, that's kind of a bummer. I like the actors in it. I thought they were getting rid of, was it John? What's his, John? I don't know his last name. John, the older guy, right? He was pretty sweet. It says, hi, my name is, it's like your title says, my name is what my name is. Who my name is, M&M. Nice. Awesome. What is this? What does the first milk of, is that caramel? Something, or send me something here. Let's take a look. Milk. No, what you got? No pop-ups? What's that mean? What's it got, Rusty? Jimsy, it says hi. Boy, it's kind of getting a little heavy in here tonight. Look up, what does it say? Look up Rule 34. I don't know. Says, hi, Dave. What's up, Eric? How you doing? John, yeah, that's a John Dutton, right? Yes. Hello, John. Let me see if I can check out real quick here. Get out when I get off the old stream there. But Tanner, let me know too about that Royal. That Royal, is that some kind of body or something for a truck or something, or a vehicle? I'm just curious, or was that something else? 2752 for let's do this. I might pop up because the reference to the website I sent for Tanner so he could stream Yellowstone, but it must have gotten deleted. Good Yellowstone. It's like really weird. So I think the only thing I ever watch is on YouTube. That's it. I don't watch anything on any kind. We got a big I don't even know how big it is. It's not super huge, but it's a big TV in the living area, and even our kids really don't watch that much. It's kind of crazy. It's weird. I don't know whatever happened to me. It's like I just got old. Let's see here. We're gonna go to this. Maybe Papa Tony will jump in too. He's I believe he's traveling. He might be home by now. Hopefully he is, because the weather has not been great. It's a little rainy over in this part of in the country. signing up here, so don't mind me. Keep them coming in. And otherwise, like I said, if you guys don't mind, hit the like button if you're cruising through. Say hi. Let me know where you're at, what state and city, country. Let me know what the weather's like. All that good stuff. And I gotta learn, because I looked on this one the other night and I could not figure out how to do it. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Oh, let's see. Eric says, did you see my comment on your recent video? I'm curious of was it opinion? Your opinion, I'm assuming. Eric, is it short enough that you can put it back on here? I seen Rusty and Tanner pop in, and then that was it. I had to unload some wood. I put some wood out here at the shop. It's been empty for a while. I debated about not doing with it. I've been really busy. So I decided, but I thought, you know what? Hey man, it's whatever the last run, $100, right? It's cash, no tax. And the thing is around our area, we don't have we got very demographics. So yeah, how do I say this? I hired a guy once, right? And he was working. It was getting this time of year, right? The winter time up here in Michigan, and he was working part time. His brother was working too, and all of a sudden I found out this guy was he was living in a tent, and it's not very uncommon for our area. He was living in a tent. And I told him, I said, dude, you're not gonna live in a tent, dude. I said, look, my one property, I said, I got a horse barn. I said, it's shelter, it's heated 52 degrees. If you want more than that, you can do your own, like propane or whatever. I said, it's got running water, it's got shower. I mean, it's got electric. Maybe I could do a pop-up, and I said, pop-ups don't last in the wintertime, dude. I said they will, collapse, the snow, the ice, not insulated. I mean, so I'm pretty accustomed to it. I've had a lot of, how do you say? I've had some grunt workers over the years, you know what I mean? And I just workers in general. And when you're in the business long enough, you can see a lot of stuff. And so I've worked at a lot of jobs in town, that people live in the woods and stuff like that. So, if I can put some wood out even, and it might help out a struggling family, so be it. You know what I mean? Eric says, why didn't you reuse the rail? Oh, when you did that opener. Ooh, opener swap. Ooh, honestly, just between me and you, Eric, I didn't think of it. It kind of evaded. I don't know what it is. So here's the thing. I'm glad you brought this up. So I don't even know if it's possible. Maybe some of you guys can say if it exists or not. The is it PTSD, right? Post-traumatic syndrome or something, like PTSD. I've tried over the years, right? So many different ways to cheat, in a sense. Not like trying to cheat, but how do you say it? It's okay, because you guys know it if you're in business. Business is super tough. And that's why sometimes I talk about the contractor vortex, or the contractor trap, not the vortex, trap. Because when you start bringing more things in, right? The trucks, the trailers, the equipment, the guys, the manpower, it just starts kind of really snowballing big time. And you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And honestly, for myself, once I realized that it was not about being busy, it was about being profitable, things changed huge. And understanding that everything you touch is liability, right? You want to take that job out a little farther away? That's liability. It's more time on the road. That's why the insurance company charges you more for car insurance and not house insurance, because you're driving around. You know, there's chances of just all kinds of stuff, right? And so what brings me with that rail system, right, is it brings me back to thinking about wire. I made it standard in the business when I was at the helm. I made it standard practice that you, like if you were doing a liftmaster or a chamberlain, I don't give a rat's ass. You change out the wire. No, you don't cut it and splice it unless it's like buried behind the wall. You know, there is circumstances. But for the most part, you rip it all out, you put all new in. Because I had problems one time too, like if I splice them, and I know there's controversy over this. Some people swear by the wire nuts. I use the gel connectors. The gel connectors can have problems too, but here in Michigan, I like the gel connectors because we have moisture and rust and all kinds of weird stuff. So I like the gel connectors. But some people swear that those break and everything too. Yeah, I've had wire nuts that'll trick me too, right? I wire nutted them and it broke the wire off. So what I'm saying is so in my mind, I always told myself, nope, I'm always gonna have a continuous from that photo. I had a continuous new wire. Now, of course, you could always staple the wire. Done that 100 times, it seems like. Staple the wire and screw that up too, you know what I mean? So it's all layers. But like when I think about the rail, for one, I don't know for sure if the rail would accept the black piece that I put on that opener. So that's one thing. It might not, I'm not sure. I think it will because I got a whole little box full of those things because I was putting them on, they got to fit. I was putting them on T-rails because I was like, man, you know, even T-rails, the chain will slap against them. It's like if you could spread it out with that plastic piece, it makes them so much quieter. You know what I mean? So I had no problems with chain drives. But the only time I didn't like selling chain drives is when you have the plastic piece because it was like you can do it and it's banging and, you know, making noise. So here's another thing that comes to my mind that I've never, ever, except for once. You got to remember inside that trolley piece too, right? That runs back and forth. I did not know on those T-rails, that's why they give you the grease. I ain't gonna lie. When I used to do installs for the lift masters, I didn't grease them. They're lucky that I take some service spring oil and dust them. You know what I mean? But I ain't cutting that thing open and sitting there and blooping it. And I found out what works out really good. Some of you guys probably do this, maybe don't. I actually take the foam and I'll actually put it out on the rail and I'll take the foam from the box and I'll smear it across the whole rail. I rub it on the side, massage the whole thing. Because the guy that was here one time, that was a foreman for me, I didn't realize that he told me, he goes, you know, there's a metal piece in there. He says that keeps that trolley from, you know, the not the piece that hooks up to it, but the piece that just runs on the T-rail from jumping. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, there's a piece of metal in there. It reminds me of slap wrist things that used to wrap around. It's kind of bent like that. He goes, that keeps it so it doesn't jiggle. Really, if you look at him, you'll see a couple little tabs where that piece of metal is in there arched. And one time, not too far after he told me that, thank you guys, we got up to 9 likes. Thank you for hitting the like button. One broke on me. And it had me quizzed for a little bit. I was watching it, it would get jammed up and it was messing. And I was like, what is going on with this thing? It's bone dry. Nobody ever put no oil on this thing. Maybe I had two. I had one do that was in the Heights. I remember one time it got jammed up, so I had to take that piece out or replaced it. I don't know, but it was a bear. It was a bear. Second one was on actually a belt drive, which I would not have expected on a belt drive, but I think it was the same thing. It was actually a fancier home. The belt drive was bone dry. That piece of metal in there broke. So what I'm getting at is that trolley piece could break. So what I'm saying is psychologically, I didn't even think of it. Second, I want everything to be as new as possible, right? I don't want them to think I took a shortcut. I don't want me to throw the rail away by accident. I even left photo eye brackets. I left the box and stuck it up in the rafters. If you watch the video, you'll see it sitting there. I seen it because I was watching the video too. It's kind of weird. It's weird once you publish a video. I like watching it and I like sit there like I'm just like one of you guys. I'm like, oh, I screwed that up. Oh, that's me. What am I? I'm sitting here. What an idiot. Anywho, I put the box and I put those photo eyes in there because just in case some reason those brackets can't see the eyes or problematic, whatever. it's at the job site, right? I always try to keep as much, even if I bury them like a little squirrel sometimes, I'll put stuff in the rafters or something, or like the, the header. I'd rather it to be there because I don't want to house it. So I do stuff hopefully maybe to help the next guy. But I think that's a great question. Yeah, probably could have used a T. But like I said, it's older chain. Another thing, I don't think it's very I've been taught this, so like from like motorcycles, like if you change the chain on a motorcycle, you're supposed to change the sprockets. Everything's supposed to be fresh and new. Now I have heard them popping right when the chain's running on those chains. You'll hear it kind of like it's like, yeah, the sprocket's different, chain stretched out. So you let me know, right? Right, fellas? I'm just saying the chain could stretch. I just find them to be problems. Maybe something's off and the tensioner is going to be way tight. I don't know. It just does not flow with me to do it. It's just, that's what it came with. That's what it was engineered for. Like I said, honestly, Uncle Dave is kind of lazy. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even want to think about it. I just go. And luckily I didn't get burned on that rail being too close to the wood beam there. They chopped the heck out of it. But great question. Good enough. Good enough. Hate that saying. Good enough is good enough. What's there? You got here, Eric. If someone buys a LiftMaster from me, I offer to reuse the rail and take off 100, but it's actually more work sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I honestly didn't even think of it. My biggest thing was, and like I said, nobody so far, I know the video is pretty fresh. If you guys can either take a video or you got instructions that I'm missing or can comment or send me a text. Like I said, I was getting pretty upset because I couldn't get the damn rail to sit where I wanted it down. And I was like, I got to go through all the settings. I took the clip out because the video was getting kind of long. I apologize for that, but I thought it was good information for a lot of people that's kind of doing stuff or getting the business and all that. So I left it kind of long, but I even tried to bring the door up and I thought, well, maybe it'll stay locked into the up, and nope. I went up a little bit and hit the down, and I just like, I don't know how to bypass this, and I thought, this sucks. I got to go through this whole cycle again. And I thought, if this thing shuts down, overheat. Now that day's a cool day. I wasn't too worried about it, but I've been there when it's those hot summer days. And I thought, I was getting to that point where I was like, I'm just going to drill out or just monkey with the J-arm until I get it to where I want it to sit. Because I was either getting too much or too little. It drives me nuts. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why we can't just set it down. The up seems to always be fine. So it's like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If you've seen it, I haven't really noticed it. Never sat there with a marker or tape on the up and went, oh, nope, it moved another half an inch or an inch. Normally it stays pretty accurate. So if we can do the up, why can't we do the down? I don't get it. Because there's a lot of variables in the down too, even, right? You got the door might be heavy, the door might be kind of hot. You got your slop in your brackets and stuff like that. Tanner says, I did that once. They bought a Menards Chamberlain opener. I put it in an old opener, had a solid T-rail. I used it, but the knee and front sprocket, and they threw a fit. Says I did not use the garbage snap together rail. I explained it was a better rail, and they just didn't understand, so I had to take it back down. And put the garbage rail on. Okay, yep. Put new on every. Yep. That's exactly like. Like I said, guys, that PTSD, man, I tell you, it really is it's a big, I've been through the runners so many times on it. So I just I run the rail. It uses up everything for the customer. Now this customer, I guarantee she was a sweetheart. She wouldn't have cared. She would have trusted me however I diced it. But in my mind, engineered, right? That's the thing. It's all engineered. What I've learned over the years, even with which is really crummy, I don't like it this way. We run into this. I notice it more with gate operators, right? Because there's probably only 2 or 3 that I know of that are in this general area, or this half side of the state, that can work. Yeah, Cap knows how to. He's gotten really good. So 3 or 4 of us that I know of that can work on old school openers, gate operators. Because when you call tech support, the business is sold. They don't have any of the information hardly anymore. How to diagnose it. There's one guy left. I don't even know if he's still there. You got to get to. He's the guy that knows. He doesn't screw around. He's like, yeah, it's this. Oh, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? But most of the stuff. That's why I like kind of like with fire doors and roll up doors. I just like to replace them because everything is engineered. So more than likely, if you have to, you can get the salesperson to come out, right? You can be like, I just spent $5,000-$10,000 on this door. What the hell's going on with it? Like, we've tried winding the springs. We read the instructions. It's not right. We need somebody to come out. But if you do that on like a used door rebuilt or the torsion tubes and you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff, good luck getting tech support. But that's also why I'm kind of like, I was talking to one guy. I think we were talking to, when I was on that live with Tony. I thought Tony was saying something about like 7 years for replacing. I have not still put a lot of thought into it. I just look at it and I see how many times the company has had problems with going back and trying to repair something versus going, I'm sorry, it's out of warranty. Even if you just do whatever the factory is, right? Maybe they give you a 2 or 3 year warranty on it. I'm sorry, all we can do is replace it. I know that's not what customers want sometimes, and you can go out there and entertain it. Maybe you look at it, but I feel like it's what's right for the technicians and the customer, because by the time you try to order parts, the parts show up wrong, the part damaged, that somebody stole it off your doorstep, it didn't make it in transit. You know what I mean? There's just way too much time involved. You got to go out there and just replace it. So with that being said, with this opener, like I said, everything's engineered. The customer is happy. They don't go up in their box one day and go, what? Why is there's this rail in here? Why did he leave it? Now you could take it and all that kind of stuff. But what if they call you out? It's, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's, here's the thing, right? Would I say the rail is better that I put on? No. But does it work? Yeah. Get probably 8, 10, 15, maybe 20 years. Yeah. It's a small little door. I can't say I've ever seen, I don't think I've ever, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I'm 50-50. Hey, we got 11 likes. Thank you guys for hitting like. The tube rail to the T-rail, the only thing I really don't like. I mean, the T-rail will fit. You can slam it up to the ceiling pretty much. I like that. Less moving stuff. But the tube rails, I've never had one kink. I've never had one. I mean, I've seen them bow pretty bad, when they've been under stress or something. But I've also had T-rails bend on me too. So they work. You know what I mean? I always like the LiftMaster because they feel like they had a nicer front pulley on them. But I can't tell you I've ever had a front one break on me except for when I crashed one into it. That sucked. That's why you always put that little tab up, because Uncle Dave's done that before. I was setting limits. I'm watching the door instead of the J-arm or whatever, and it's like, and one of those things that if you don't have it on your truck, how do you make that? I can't make that out of a chunk of wood. Oh, Rich has got his eyes on Beth. Yeah, Beth, she's a killer, man. Matter what it is, Eric's got, so Rusty, he installed a Chamberlain and not a LiftMaster. It adds an extra 35 minutes or so assembling the rail. True. Adding the chain spreader and running the chain. True. It says Rusty's got, I raised my prices enough so that nobody calls me to do customer installs. I like undercutting my own opener, same work for less money. Oh, nice. What's Tanner got? So when I first watched Yellowstone, I was like, where do you know Beth Dalton? There's Kelly, and then what does it say? She is in a real great movie. It's funny because very first scene in the movie is the husband Oh, the husband's whining a garage door? Oh man, I didn't know that. And the overhead door, it was a great part of the movie. Some door talk here. He says, and there is the movie Beth Dalton and the wife, huh? And mom, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that clip. Huh. They were just come across it randomly, send it to me. What's Eric got? Eric's guy says you would also not have to worry about the clearance. Yep, the clearance issues. And hauling home a long rail, true. And the T-rail is stronger. It wouldn't bend over time. Let's see here. Yeah, so like I said, but the T-rails or the tube rails, like I said, just going into like the ones I haven't installed, I've never seen a tube rail yet where it kinked, right? Like it kinked so bad it was unrepairable. I've seen T-rails. I've actually had T-rails that were bent from, like, I get them, when they come in the long rails from the semi-truck driver stuff. I've seen those bent. I don't even know if they're bent from the semi-truck driver. So it'll be like no damage in the box. You pull it out and you can sight down and you're like, son of a biscuit. And the chain will slap. That's why it's nice to have a plastic piece. But like I said, I've never had any problem. Now, the one that's, what's the one? Is it the one that's basically the crappiest one I'm trying to think of? Extreme. I don't like how the rails, because they just use the chain and everything to hold the rail together. It works, but those ones seem really, really too small. The diameters aren't right. I definitely do not like those. But the other ones, like I said, they work. They get you by. It's even, and like I said, I have more fear that the electronics is going to fail in it than I do mechanical parts anymore. It's going to be a circuit board. It's going to be an RPM sensor. It's going to be, God only knows. So, like I said, unfortunately, we live in the world of lighters, the big lighters. We don't live in the Zippo days anymore. Where you rebuild, you refuel it. It runs out of fuel. You chuck it. You go to the gas station. You get another one. It's sad. Do I like it? No. And then another thing to touch base, because I was thinking about this the other day. I thought about maybe eventually, I was like, maybe I'll get into like a Suburban or something, which is, I'm not saying it ain't ever going to happen, right? But I tell you what, that truck is like driving an El Camino, right? A Chevy El Camino. It's low. It's really works good for strapping stuff down. I can reach everything. I really thoroughly enjoy that truck. So putting the rail and stuff on there really don't bother me now that I've learned how to run it. I learned it from Cole, a guy that worked here for doing fencing. He'd haul 21-foot top rail on he had a diesel, a Dodge truck. And I watched how he was hauling that, and I was thinking, I'm sitting here hauling them on top of vans with our extension tubes and everything on them, or I haul them on a trailer because they're so long. This dude's like got it half off the tailgate, half flying on the cab. Now the Nissan, which is nice, is actually got what I like about it. It's got that ladder rack thing that's actually built solid. So most of the stuff lands on there, so it's not riding on your cab making a bunch of clunky noise. But if you need to eliminate that, what I did is I bought myself a bag of rags from Lowe's. And I just push that. I just put that and put everything on top of it. It's going to make a bunch of noise. But like I said, it don't bother me. I know some guys actually put this up by the road. Had a couple guys do that. So there's all kinds of different ways. Obviously, you're not on that T-rail. That stuff is harder than snot. Like I said, hey, whatever works for you, go for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm just telling you my experience. I'm kind of there with Tanner. Like I said, it's all fresh. It's all new. The front pulley's new. The chain matches up with the new sprocket. The trolley piece is all plastic, which, not plastic, but it's got the plastic guides in there. That's all new versus that metal piece. Gosh, I'd hate to go back for a call back because she calls me and says something's going on, and I'm sitting there watching it jump, or I don't catch it, or the worst of the worst is if you got employees and they go out there and they look at it and go, what the why is there an old rail on, like, is that one come with it? Like, I'm so confused. Like, what's going on here? And then they don't catch that the trolley piece is what snapped or broke, and they know the age. Let me see. Let me go down. Eric. Let me see. Tanner, are you still here? Just put a like a 1 or something in the comments, because I got a tire I might want to show you. Might be something you might want to just have in the back of your mind. Like I said, everybody's got their own opinions, but I've done my research, and this is what I think I'm going to go with. This is where I'm at right as of November 2024. Okay, let's see. Evan's got that lady wants to teach me a board game. Might. Oh, awesome. Have fun. Eric says you would also not have to worry about clearance issues. Yes, the clearance. Yes, I got that one. Tanner says it is what we call it nowadays, board game. Right, lift me. Go get it, man. That's right. Eric says, that stupid lift master with the camera gives me... I agree, man. All that technology with the camera, that's funny. I love that. I can understand that. What problems have they given you, Eric? He says, my queue, bullshit. Yes, the my queue. I never had any problems setting up customers' phones. What's this? Is this... I'm going to say FF says hi. What's up? 1. He's got 1. Let's go grab this. I want to show this to you. Just something to think about. Maybe some of those other guys too. So I went with this tire because it's actually a little bit heavier load rating. I think it's the load rating E. I gotta open this door. I got it. With a Firestone. I think General makes a pretty decent one too, but bringing it where it's light. I don't consider myself a tire expert. I used to work I worked at 2 different tire places back in the day. Discount, and I used to work at, where did I just work at? Penske. What I like about this is the reason I went with this one. I think I messed up a little bit. I think I got cap. I thought I got them different ones. Anywho, let's take a look at this, see if we can flip this around. Bam! There we are. So here it is. I ain't gonna lie, I was worried about the noise with it a little bit. You know how these get down. They can get noisy a little bit, but it's the Destination XT. I've been pretty happy. I got this on another work truck. Ours take the 245. So what is this one? So it's a load range E. I think, boy, the other one they had was only a 2,000 and some change. What I like though is the guys are always complaining. It's got a little bit of a lug on the side for extra grip. The big thing I was going after though was this right here, the Snowflake. They're a little bit softer. They put something in their compound, so it's a little bit better for the wintertime. Because with them driving vans, I know for Tanner, he's got the 4-wheel drives. But for some guys out there that are dealing with vans in the winter, I think this is going to be a pretty good option. I've been pretty happy with them on another truck I got. Yeah, it's a good tire. I think it's got a little extra grip on it. Let me see. I always buy one until I can, I like to touch them and feel them. So what I'll do is, actually, I'm trying to look for the weight on this thing. I thought it was like 3,000 some pounds. Hello, where are you? Right here. 13. Yeah, this one's right there. So 3,000. So that should be plenty for a heavy down van and pulling like a scissor lift or something. But like I said, the big thing was LT. You got to do LT, obviously. It's not a passenger car. But it's just something to think about. This is kind of what we're going to try out. Well, let's go take a look. While we're here. Let's go have a little fun. Let's go out in the dark for a second. Remember, in business, this door must remain unlocked during business hours. That was code. Love them. We just had a gnarly accident out here. Motorcycle accident last night. They got the cone still up across from the motorcycler. This was actually probably his cup, the guy that died on it. I'm telling you, man, those motorcycles. I found that in the yard, all beat up. That dude didn't make it. Smashed into a car. That was easy to watch in the cameras. Okay, it's dark out here and I'm scared. Here we go. Let's go see what we hear. There you are. One of these ones it's getting closer to needing tires. Which one are you? Is it this one? I think it's this one. See that? Yeah, that's not the best. So we got this from the company down the road that does tires. These Master. And they've been okay. What are these ones? What is these? HXT. But let me just double check. 245, 75, 16. Just want to make sure. They don't have the snowflakes. So I'm thinking those are going to be a little nicer. A little nicer. This is the extended van too, isn't it? Yeah, this one is. Yeah, this one's nice. Nice van. Let's see. Yeah, see, I mean, like, I'd run those in the summer still, but it's not me. So, and you want to have problems. You got employees. You got to give them the best of the best. Hey, Ken, this one, I thought about telling them to keep them. I don't have a vehicle. Look at those. Those are probably going to get replaced too. Those ones look better though. Back tires they don't get rotated enough. They always the ones that wear out. Yeah, I don't know. It's questionable. I could probably make it, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's go back and where it's a little nice and windy. I think the old Maple's got to go. She's always makes a mess every year. Nice for summertime, but oh. Wee! Hello, work. We are back. Oh, Tanner's got something threw up there. What you got, Tanner? It's hard to do it when you're on a live. There you go. But I just figured I'd put out there in case some of you guys deal with some of the snow and the in-between weather. You try to give them the best opportunity or best chances as you can. There we go. Plug it back in. What do you got here? What do you got? People, our cars are usually, what does this say? People's cars are usually hard to program. Some newer Mercedes and BMWs, yep, the Audis, have some extra steps. Yeah, they can be tricky. What does it says? The square rail you just installed would probably be fine since it's only, it's a 16 by, or whatever, 6 by 7 pan door. Yeah, I think it was I don't know, I didn't know what it was. It was either 8 or 9.7. I'm not real sure on it. What else we got here? What is this? I like UE. One. Tanner's got the one up there. The foreign cars always harder for for whatever reason. Yeah, that's why, I typically try to pawn it off to somebody else. Like I go, I just go, I always just tell them, I say, you really should use the remotes. They work the best. They got the best signal. And sometimes that'll stop people, sometimes not. It all depends on the situation. If it makes sense to me, like, I don't know, there's really I can't really say for old people, because old people, I'm like, it's even worse, right? I'm like, you got to have it. I had to check. I thought I had a camera alert. That's weird. Do you do a fleet tour if you're outside? Oh yeah. Well, unfortunately, all the vehicles aren't here. A couple of them get taken, so they're not all here. What we should do is check out the dumpster. We haven't looked in the scrap hopper. Remind me. It says I run all caulking. What do you mean you're running all? What is that? All caulking. Rich has got a Michelin. Some people are. Michelin's. Here's the thing with Michelin. I've had Michelin. I've had them on a lot of my diesels, and they work good, right? The problem with Michelin's I've always find is they are a high mileage tire, but they typically have a harder compound. So I have not, and I to be honest, I haven't pursued Michelin. I've been looking for the snowflake. I actually prefer, for me, myself, and for the guys, I prefer a softer compound. I'd rather replace tires sooner than have a harder compound, and they take the chance of because, like I said, it's it's always different when you deal with employees. Employees, they hook up to a scissor lift, they go trucking down the road, and they think, oh, it's wintertime, and I've been driving this van, and they don't, and all of a sudden it's, oh, red light or car. I always in the back of my mind go, I'd rather know that they had the best tires they could, the softest compound, even though they're going to wear out and not last as long. But you give them the best chance, right? Or they got to take, perfect example is I got the one job. I think Rusty's seen pictures of it, but I'm there one day getting sandblasted. Everything's bone dry. We had a bunch of rain, and I'm like pulling in there with the Nissan, like, holy crap, am I going to get stuck? Now I just got winter tires, but I haven't put them on yet because as of right now, we don't have snow in the forecast for, I don't know, another maybe a month. So I've been trying to burn up the crappy tires I got, then put snow tires on there that are really soft compound. So it's just one of those things. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the lugs on this because of the noise. I like the straightness, but I watched a video on it, and the guy was explaining the other tire that had the straight line through it. The weight rating on it wasn't as good, and I went, I just know how things are, man. You get a snowstorm, there's 2 feet of snow on top. Yes, you need to brush it off. You need to pull a scissor. You load the van down with doors or whatever. Tires, I just do not. I try not to screw around. Firestone, obviously, they've had some issues in the past. Generally even has one, I forget, I think it's an RT. I got that on another truck. Seemed to be okay. Those got the whatever, you know what I mean? The snowflake. But do your homework. One thing I would definitely recommend for everybody across the board is no matter what, don't cheap out on tires. That's the big thing, because Uncle Dave used to buy used tires, when I was broke, and I had beautiful looking tires, brand new looking tread, and they were old. I didn't realize, I think it's, 3 years or 5 years? They consider them like they're bad, like they're rotted basically, because tires, the compound. And I remember I had these beautiful tires, just got the van repainted, got it all fixed up, bondoed, everything from the body shop, and my business partner, tire blew on the highway, freaking caved in the whole back fender. I mean, he comes back, he's like, I got a flat, I had to change it on the side, blah. And I'm like, dang, dude. I'm like, how long did you drive with that flat? And he's like, it just blew. And he's like, by the time I went off the side of the road, he's like, that's what it did. And I'm like, you just caused $800, $1,200 worth of damage. The van was mint. It was just fixed. I put way too much money into that van. Things you learn. Looks like BFG. Yeah, I think a lot of them are kind of mimicking the BFG. I guess BFG now changed again. I didn't know that. They had the KO2s. Now they're, I don't know if they're calling them the threes. I didn't realize they changed again. I was watching a video comparison that. I think the BFGs, I'm sure they got the winner or the snowflake. It was just, I already tried these on another truck. I needed it for more traction. It seemed to work. So I thought, you know what? Let's try them on the guys. They might be a little noisier, but for us, luckily, we don't do a lot of traveling down the highways anymore like we used to. So they're all in town, but it's just for when they get in that weird sandy, because they're driving two-wheel drive. And two-wheel drive, you just need as much as you can get. Tanner's Flakes is the best tire. Is it Falcons? Is the best? I came across, got in the van in the 06 Weiss FGV. I don't think I've ever heard of that brand. I haven't driven enough to have an opinion on tires, but the old BFGs, Goodrich tires. F250 were old and good. BFGs, I've had BFGs. I've had pretty good luck with those. They normally get noisy. Now I think these are gonna probably, it seems like when they lower on the lugs, they get that road noise. Hopefully these aren't going to be that bad, but we'll see. We'll see. Says Rusty's guy says stock size on my 2500 is 27 6520. Came with Goodyear, got 30. Switched to Mastercraft. Oh yeah, that's I think what's on the vans. The Course Trail HD have gotten 50 so far. Nice, nice. What's up? What's up? What's this? Is it Brooke Garage Door? What's up? How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Let me know what you got going for the week. What you got planned? Ching. Dave, the job looked like a flooded beach. Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You know, Uncle Dave thinks he's seen it all sometimes, right? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it all. And I could not believe, so I brung my daughter came with me, and she's like, Dad, she's like, what do I wear? Do I wear tennis shoes or do I wear my mud boots or my rain boots? And I'm like, it's rain. You know, we needed the rain. And I'm like, you probably can just wear like your tennis shoes. I'm like, we're kind of up on a hill in a general, whatever, which we were, but down there, garbage can. Anywho, I'm just like, she's like, you know, I'm like, but it might get dirty. So you probably don't want to wear your tennis shoes. I'd bring your rain boots. Luckily, she had her rain boots because I didn't have rain boots, and my boots, they can take water, but not like, you know, standing in water. And oh my gosh, we pulled in there and it was like, all Uncle Dave was thinking was, son of a biscuit, I didn't bring the right boots. You know, like we're pulling in there and then we're going through these puddles and I'm going, oh my gosh, I didn't lock my hubs. I'm thinking if we get stuck, luckily she's got her rain boots on. She could probably do it, but I'm going to tell her, you know, you got to get out and lock my hubs. So it was like just of a course of a rain, how things change, man. You know, and then of course the door splatter on it, not horrible, but it had splatter and sand. So I'm brushing off the sides. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like these variables. Eric's got, what's Eric got? I think Michelin Man looks like the Stay Puff guy from, Ghostbusters. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Just turn the radio up. There you go. If it gets noisy, just turn the radio up. You know, that's what I was saying. I look at it and go, look, they're not really, they're in it for, you know, whatever, 6-8 hours a day. If they're a little bit of road noise, it ain't like their personal vehicles that they're going to take up to the state or up to the UP of Michigan. You know, it's a work vehicle. Hey, be happy you got something that runs. Be happy you got something that's got air conditioning. You know, it does the job, right? But the big thing is nobody wants to get stuck, and you try to make sure they got the best stuff they can, you know, for their jobs. That's right. Eric says, who cares about noise? You need traction. I just know there is so many times, you know, there was a couple times where I remember some of the guys were, you know, like questioning about going in certain places. I told Cap, I just said, tell them to go. I said, if they get stuck, we'll call a tow truck. You know what I mean? And he knows, he understands. He mentioned, he goes, but the problem is, he goes, if they do it, he goes, I have a feeling they're going to go in there and they're going to deliberately get stuck. Maybe. Here's a little tip, I'll tell you. If you got employees, right, sometimes, so I got to be nice about this. Got to be politically correct. I'm going to probably tell you how it is. But here's the thing. Long time ago, I had guys, I remember one time a guy threw his key on the dash and went down the vent in the front, right, the defrost, calls up, hey man, we got a problem. Of course, it's one of those jobs way across the state, right, 2 hours, 3 hours away, one way, too far away, and I'm just like, how did you lose the key? You know, I'm like, my God. I'm like sitting there back in my head telling me, God, that truck comes back here. I'm going to super glue that son of a bitch in there. You know, you'll never get it out. You know? And so anywho, I'm panicking, right? That's why another helpful tip is, you want to have spare keys for your work vehicles. Always have spare keys. Another helpful tip is make sure the spare keys are under the vehicle, somewhere that either you know about, maybe nobody else, but you know where they're at, in a frame rail somewhere or something hidden. That's helpful. Make sure you got a spare set. Like, that's why we got, I'll show you. Well, I bought this, and I bought it so it was locked, so in case we have problems with Antifa or something, I don't know what the hell you call it, but like the handle? Magnet. Yeah, I know. That's nice. But we got that, right? Because it just doesn't seem to ever fail. That what'll happen is, like I said, you'll get somebody that'll lose a key or the key fell off, right? Well, anyways, the guy that lost one down to the defrost. Of course, it turns into code red, and I have to get myself. We have to, you know, it's all hands on deck, right? And we have to get the wife involved. Everything. I'm already getting her, like, you know, Mayday, Mayday, you might have to drive across the state. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yep. I'm like, I'm too busy. I'm doing this. I can't, like, you have to go drive this key across because he's not done with the job. He's still probably got 3 or 4 more hours, but you got to go over there and give him a key and blah, blah, blah. And then, so after all that shenanigans happens, I get a phone call, you know, 30, 45 minutes later of, you know, hey man, got it. Oh, so you're good? Yeah, we ended up taking some like bubble gum and like a rod, and we got, you know, I'm like, okay, so you're like, you don't need no help, you're good, you know. You know, and it was like one of those things, like I'm almost like, I wish you would have just kind of started handling it. But like I said, that's what I've noticed with employees. It's like they panic. Now he wasn't even done with the job. It wasn't like he's like, I'm sitting here, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give you a heads up. You know, it's like kind of comes to that whole thing, right? I always remember, don't come to your boss with problems. Come to your boss with solutions. It's not a problem that you say, hey, this is what's going on. I just want to let you know. I'm gonna see what I can do to handle this. Okay, all right. I appreciate the heads up. Instead, it's, hey man, got a problem. Like, there's no way in hell this is coming out. So you better send somebody over here with keys. You know, that's just how some people are. Oh man, hey, we got 13 likes. I appreciate the likes. So sometimes that kind of stuff can happen. Rip. Turn up the traction. Yeah, you need to look. Yeah, you need to look cool. Tanner's got rich. Driven on the beach with you lower the tire pressure down to 15 psi. Yep, I know that very well. We actually have Silver Lake sand dunes up here in Michigan. One hell of a great place for all kinds of forerunners and stuff. People travel, I think, up here out of state and everything to come see it. And tire pressure does matter. It makes a big difference for a foot. Lowering the tire pressure, so that does help a lot. It's just a matter of reinflate. If you don't have, how do you reinflate? Luckily, the sand though was pretty packed, so it was pretty good. I never had no problems even when it was dry going in there. So luckily, it was pretty packed. But it was just all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh! Like I said, you have to watch. There'll be a video eventually coming out about it. You know, I'm just like, there's water on each side. We're going through these puddles, and I'm like, before we left, I locked my hubs because like, just for good luck. I was like, I don't need a bad day. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, I got a little sidetracked there with the employees on it. Sometimes you're better off. Don't try to be the hero. I know. Don't try to be the hero. Call a tow truck. There was too many times I would run out there. I would do something. It's not to try to be mean, but sometimes it's just your time is more valuable and you need to let them sit. Let them sit, let the tow truck pay the bill, let the professionals do it. Instead of you going out there and you getting, you know, the truck and you need leverage or need pulleys. Sometimes, not always. Obviously, if it's something small, sure, maybe. But that's also why I don't like the traveling, because that's where I've been burned. Me and Cap have a story on that. You know, he was all an hour and 15 minutes away, and he literally had to walk out of the woods, probably about 3/4 to a mile to get cell service to call me, and then I'm jollying up there to save the day. I've told this story before, but should have called a tow truck. Should have called a tow truck. Instead, I got 2 trucks in the problem. It was not good. Rusty says, always have a spare toolbox key. Says 2. Oh. Went to a customer's house and couldn't open the boxes. Oh, an old farmer went in his garage, had a key for it. Nice. That's awesome. That's really cool, man. That's nothing. That's like always embarrassing, isn't it? It's like, hey, man, I can't get my tools out. I can't do nothing. Tanner says, my keys stay in the ignition at all times. I have a clip I hook onto the belt loop with my key fob and spare key in case the fob dies. So here's the thing. I'm glad this is great. This is good stuff. I'm glad Tanner brought this up because now my brains, my juices are running here. So I think, Tanner lives in a little more like, it's always like I always tell the wife, I say, we never see protest or people burning down buildings. I said, like out in the country. I said, out in the cornfields. I said, it's always in the cities. I said, I never see them out in the country, doing bad things. It's just too far away, too rural, not enough stuff damaged, not enough coverage, like you just don't see it, right? It's always in the inner cities and all that kind of stuff. But anywho, so with the key stuff, right, there's some tricks to that. So like for our demographic, we can be pretty dense. We got an area that's not a good area. So there was one thing I don't want to forget. So since there's one here, so Cap does a really good thing. He was the one that actually, he did it. So for one, if you got employees, he gets a phone, or not his phone, but his keys on a clip, right? He clips them onto his battery charger because typically you forget your battery charger, right? You leave it, and if your keys clip to it or fob, you're gonna grab this because sometimes he's going weird, like a breezeway behind a house because there's an outlet back there. So clip these charger, right? Your keys. That way you get in the car, you can't start the vehicle. Well, forgot my charger. Great idea. I thought that was a good idea. Next, right? Here's the thing. A good buddy of mine, if he watches it, I love you. You're a good dude. He's a hard-ass worker, man. Anyways, he's got a place down the road. Called me up one night. He's a business owner. Calls me up. He's like, we don't really stay in touch too much. That's probably my fault. But we call every once in a while, maybe once a week or something, right? Calls me one night. Dave, I got a problem. What's up, man? I got a real problem. He says, I think I might be going to prison. I don't know. He says, I mean, it's something bad to happen. Damn, dude, what's up? What's going on? You know that red truck? Now he had a Chevy, maybe a 2007, 2008 year, diesel, Chevy 2500, 3500, I can't remember exactly. Nice truck, nice maroon truck. I used it one time to move a camper around. My truck was in the shop, we were going camping, so I moved my camper around with his. But this is our work truck, right? This is our work truck. It's at a shop, they leave the keys in it. Somebody on bikes, 2 guys on a bike were floating around, got in his truck, stuck with a trailer on it, ended up going down the road down Apple Avenue, ended up dumping the trailer at the gas station down in the corner, took off into the country land a little bit, and then there's a little city, it's called Urbana, plowed into a teenage girl, I believe killed her, rolled the truck's demolished. I don't remember what happened to the guys. And he's like, dude, I don't know what's even, like, he's like my truck just killed a teenager. And I'm like, oh, like, this is bad. And he goes, like, literally goes, I was out at the shop. He says, all of a sudden the truck goes whipping by. He's like, I got on the radio because they got walkies. And he's like, somebody let somebody borrow the truck. And they're like, what? No, like, they're all trying to figure out who. By the time the cops, high-speed chase. Tell you what, I came back to the shop. The next day I told the guys about the story. I said, all your keys, I said, you do not leave them in the ignition. Because that hit me hard. Because I thought if that was my wife or kid or child or whatever, and this dude just killed somebody with my and these are the things I tell you guys this because, like I said, it's real, man. It's real. And it's sometimes until you put a lot of years in that you realize all these little things that you go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like the truck that blew the airbags, right? I can't have somebody drive that. I actually know that that truck is not safe to drive. What if somebody gets in an accident? What if that turns into a lawsuit? What if that, the list goes on and on and on, right? And then now the fact that my buddy had a truck that was stolen and just killed somebody, rolled it, demolished the truck. I mean, the truck was just gone. It's horrible. It's just horrible. So you got to watch all these different things. And like we have a place in the Heights, right? That we would literally, like, I would never leave my truck unlocked or my van because just people walking around doing stuff, man. I watched literally, this is how, I mean, people are not that smart. I'm watching, there was three people last night that drove through this crime scene that was all blocked off. I could see it on the cameras, blocked off. I'm hearing the cops screaming down the road because there's a car running, cruising down, a PT Cruiser. One was another motorcycle. And it's like, dude, like, one of your brothers just died here. There was two of them that got actually in the accident. Car, I think, pulled out in front or something like that. I didn't get all the details. But not good. Not good. So you got to watch everything you do. Everything you do. There could be, every action has a reaction. Tanner, you wouldn't leave a key in the ignition around here. It will be gone. Yes. And the worst part is, a lot of things I've learned over life is that it's not even so much, it's not the materialistic things. It's the fact that I couldn't imagine what my buddy felt like, because he's got kids, that his truck literally just left his building free willy, right? And just went and killed somebody, an innocent person. I mean, that's what's scary. And I know there's something, like there's something to it. Maybe you guys can comment on this. There's something even to it. Like if you're on the side of the road, I don't know the exact details, but like if you're on the side of the road, you need to have your hazards on. Because if you don't have your hazards on, I've heard this question happen before between cops. They're like, did they have their hazards on? And it's almost like it gives you a free pass, because if you had your hazards on and that car rear-ended you, obviously they weren't in control of their vehicle. They weren't paying attention. They should have known you were in distress. But it's like if you were sitting over there just with your turn signal on off the side of the road, that turns into a different, like, well, they didn't know you're turning, you didn't have your hazards on. Like there's always these different layers to things that you just don't know about. And I know there is something too, like with the whole keys. Like if they got keys, that's always the first thing, right? They're going to say, well, how did they get access to your vehicle? I think it kind of goes back, it almost goes back to the pow-pows, like for kids. Well, how did they get access to it? Well, I left it out. I mean, I gave them the code, the list goes on, you know what I mean? Rusty says, we leave our cars running outside unlocked and go into the store. Definitely not around our area. I used to do a lot with my diesel. I had two different, keys, set of keys. I would do that. And then I remember, I always remember my dad telling me a story once about how the dog locked his keys in, and then guess what happened to me? I had a dog in my truck. I was just done with work. It was a hard week. I had my one dog, I forget even what dog it was, in the truck, right? Diesel truck sitting outside running, right? The old Cummins, just sitting up front, Yeah, that's my truck. And I was sitting there, and I come out, and it's like, I bought a case of beer at the time. I was like, come out, I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm looking at the dog, I was standing there, just happy as can be. I'm like, unlock the door. Unlock the damn door. This is embarrassing as hell. So luckily I had a topper. I went through the topper. I had to shimmy the back window open, climb in there. Yeah, Mr. Cool, right? You know what I mean? Like here I am getting in my truck, just running. My dog locked it. Ken, what's up, Ken? New to owning a garage door. What's this says? A garage door for business. I'm trying to find an average percentage from job to hold back for taxes. Ooh. Well, I don't know. Garage door business. Maybe some of the guys, right there. So Rusty, I figured Rusty would do that. He's good about that. Rusty says about 30%. Sounds about right. You know what I mean? That's a very loaded question because it all depends on the end of the year. Do you kind of wash the money out? Do you, show a loss? Do you show, there's so many different ways you can kind of do that stuff. And then it depends, I guess, too, probably how you're filing, are you doing a sole proprietor? Are you just doing yourself? Are you doing an S corp? Are you, there's a lot of different layers to it, but to probably be safe, 30, sure. Tanner, rich around here. You try to steal someone's car, you get shot. It sounds like Texas. Russ says, start with 30. Ken, and what percentage would you pay yourself? Ooh, that's a good one. It says, as an owner or employee. Says, thanks, Rusty. Owner. Nah, man, here in the sticks, we know everyone, and everyone knows my truck or van, so they would be dead before I even got a call. He says, I was gone. He says, I do lock at night if the dog is with me, so I can run to lock it with a fob. Oh, yes. Another thing, too, around here is what I heard from another guy. I've never experienced it, thank goodness, knock on wood. I heard like enclosed trailers and stuff like that. If they got names on them, they typically don't get stolen. But if they're just unmarked, gray ones, black ones, white ones, those ones get picked pretty easy. That's what I've been told. So you might want to mark your vehicle or mark your enclosed trailers if you're gonna have trailers and stuff like that, vans. My buddy's was not marked. It doesn't really. I don't think it would have mattered because it was in the corner somewhere. Guys were, they were pedaling biking around it. Ken says LLC. Ken, are you taking salary as employee? No. What is your monthly overhead and what are you grossing for a month? What else I got here? He says, Rusty says, you can take whatever you want as an owner draw, but you can't take money that's not there. Nothing yet. Just getting LLC up and going. CC, what's up, fam? How you been? It's good. See you, CC. Hope you're doing. Yeah. So I mean, Ken, just a drop in there a little bit. So, I obviously am not. I always hire people that are way smarter. I'm not that smart. So I'm just a go-getter. I'm just a dreamer. That's how I view myself. But so for us, we used to be a partnership. I wouldn't do that again. That don't work. The attorney was totally right when he says, typically partnerships don't work. There's only one captain of a ship, right? There needs to be one final say. That's just how it goes. So, partnership got changed over into an S corp. What I like about the S corp is, for me, I've taken a draw, you know what I mean? And that worked out good because then it makes me look like an employee. It looks good. It keeps everything separate. The business is its own thing. The S corp turns into so if I want to get a personal loan or just you want to live your own life in a sense, you can without always dragging the business. The business kind of turns into its own entity. So that's why I personally like the S corp. I've talked to the wife before about it, and I don't think we would ever change. There's never been a lot of blowback. You know how when you do something, it's like you constantly are talking about something or something's just not working or jiving. You're like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. That has been the best so far. There's not been a lot of blowback on it. So it's worked good for many years. Like I said, but everybody's situation is different. Got 15 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button, by the way. Ken, there's a guy on YouTube named Mark Kohler. He says he's a lot of videos on how to pay yourself. That's true. Thank you, he says. Awesome. And I really think if you guys can mention anything, honestly, there is a lot of truth. I'm always the type right? Instead of getting, what is it? This is a CPA. Am I saying that right? CPA. Somebody that can somebody that's going to work for you in a sense, instead of just an accountant. I've dealt with a lot of accountants, and most time they suck. Like they get the job done, they do the stuff for the IRS, but if you get as a CPA, I think it's CPA, they look at how to save you money, how to take that money. Normally, if you can do something like in November, that's always good, where you go over your stuff, and then maybe you need to make a purchase. Maybe things need to be changed up a little bit before the end of the year comes. There's things of that nature where you can talk to them. So, like I said, I definitely consider, like I said, they're worth their weight in gold if you find good ones, you know. Rusty, what do you project your overhead to be for a month starting out? You may not be able to take any profit from the business because you will need the cash flow for insurance, payroll, taxes, and more. It's true. That is. When I first started out, man, it was pinching pennies. We started out. I remember me and my business partner, we'd be like, sweet man, like we got like I don't know, like 12, 1,500 bucks in the account. And it was like, so what do you want this week? Do you want like 400 bucks? Or you think we should do like 6? And it was like, well, we only got 15, so we'll do like 400, because we roughly knew what our bills were, you know, for our households. But I mean, that's how we operated, and we slowly built on it. But it was so hard. I ain't gonna lie. Like if you can start out with some capital, that's so much nicer, because what started happening was, and of course I was a greenhorn, so I wasn't getting half down. I didn't feel like I could do that, right? I didn't feel like I had the privilege to ask for that, or the guts. So the money, you know, all of a sudden you start getting 1 door, and that's not so bad. And then you start getting 2. Yeah, we can still do 3. Oh crap, this person wants 4 doors. Ooh, man. You know, the money starts just going out. And one thing that I dislike about the garage door business a little bit sometimes with that stuff is that you have to remember that money goes out, and then, you know, the way I think about it, every second counts. That money by the time it comes back in is worth less, right? Every year our money, it's like why we go into the hardware stores, and it's, instead of it used to be $100 store, now it's a $200, or now it's a $300, because inflation. So, you know, anywho, I won't go too far down that rabbit hole. Tanner says, at least you had your beer. Ooh, says you could drink while you got the situation handled. Oh man. Says Tanner says, man, have it rough. He says, I can have full jobs loaded in my enclosed and leave it anywhere, or trucks. He says, do not lock something. He says, forget. He says, I hate the guys that have to worry about people stealing. It's bad, man. It's bad. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely jealous. It's just, you just can't do it around these neck of the woods, you know what I mean? And like I said, probably for you, Tanner, too, because everything's, I think, is more rural. You know, you're doing the eggs. I mean, if I was doing big agriculture, I mean, you're going down some pretty damn long driveways. I ain't worried about some dude walking off the street, you know what I mean? But when you, it was like one time I was up north, right? And I had this old boy, right? You know, and I really like the older people. I really do. They got years of knowledge, right? But, you know, I had that young, cocky kid mind, you know, and I thought, what the hell is this old man going to teach? He goes, you know something? I'll teach you something. I said, oh, okay. I was putting the door together. All I cared about was getting the damn door done. I just want to get this door done so I can go home and get this stuff out. Just tell you something. Tell me, go ahead. You know, and he goes, you know why I like living out here? And he was country. And I was like, no. Why you like, you know, I'm thinking he's going to tell me the trees, it smells pretty. You know, he goes, not so many crazies. And in my brain, I was processing it. I went, not so many crazies. And I went, I thought, well, he don't know my family, because a lot of my family, on my one side of my family, are crazy. My one ran from the cops. He ended up doing all kinds of bad things. He was hiding in a dog coop, you know, by the time the cops found him. And I thought, yeah, nothing happens. And I thought, I got a trailer that's out in the woods. I do hunting. When last time I was getting my propane tilled, some guys were like, you hear about Tom? And I'm like, Tom? I'm like, who else Tom? Oh, Tom. He says, well, you're up on 19 Mile, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, Tom. He says, he was up on the power line. He says, he shot somebody. He says, but they can't find him. But they found a body. I go, okay, they found him. I said, was it Tom? I don't think it was Tom. But holy crap, man. Like, you know what I mean? So anyways, this old man tells me, he goes, I like living on the country because there's not so many crazies. And I was like, I thought, yeah, well, that's not true. And he goes, well, actually, he goes, you can see them from a long ways coming. And I went, now that I can agree with, because in the city, right, you got people coming over fences, you got people walking down the roads. I mean, you're always on a swivel. Like, what's this person doing? What's this person want? You know, I literally had when I was getting lunch today, and this lady was walking. And she had that look, and I went, "Oh my gosh, here we go. She's gonna be coming to me, you know, hey, do you by chance have any extra money? Blah blah blah. Oh my, here we go." And then I realized there was a semi truck sitting over there, and she was just walking her dog. But she had that gaze, just like she did not belong. She wasn't dressed right. I was like, here we go, because I literally. I might have told you guys before, but I had a girl walk in this door when I'm literally on the phone here talking. I'm doing business. I got estimates to do. I got so much stuff. I got this girl walks in and I'm like, hi. And it was raining. It was all wet. She came in here. She actually stuck herself with a needle, I'm pretty sure, in the bathroom, because she come back out and she was just acting. She's like, I'm so tired. And I'm like, so you ever get a hold of whoever is going to pick you up? No. And I'm just like, I got to get this person out of here. I thought I was going to get bamboozled, man. So I'm like, of course, at the time I got the fancy truck, right? I got it all wrapped. I got the Ford Raptor. I'm like, here I'm driving this lady back to an apartment. As I pull in the apartment, I go, oh my gosh. I go, there's going to be some dude standing in the window, like with a wife beater on, leaning up against, you know how it is, like in the movies. And he's going to be like looking at me like, you messing with my lady? I know who you are. And I'm like, I was just being a good Samaritan. I was just giving her a ride, you know? And I mean, all these things go through your head. And I even was like texting my wife. I'm like, honey, please check the cameras in the shop. Like, there's this lady. I don't know what she's doing. She's weird. So you never know. You never know, man. We got some weird people. Rich says, just to let the Milwaukee guys, the Home Depot has 18 volt. Ooh, the 3-amp 2-pack for $79. That's a good deal. Damn, I might have to go get some. That's a good deal. So thanks for bringing that up, Rich. Liftman Evans, guys, I'm back. Did you see my video I sent you, Dave, about how I really should have asked for pictures? Oh, did I not comment back on that? I'm sorry, Evan, if I didn't. Loved it. I loved it. Evan sent me a picture. I think what do you have to do? You had to go in town, get an extension rail. I feel like there was one other thing I'm forgetting here. There was something else. Oh, they had the Skylink, and then you had a different opener or something like that. But I loved it. I loved it. It put such a smile on my face. I was like, I'm telling you guys, you need to always slow down, right? You always got to slow down and ask for pictures. And if they don't want to play that game, say, sayonara, I'll put you on the schedule when you send me pictures. I'm sorry. I don't have time for this crap. My life is too valuable. And, like I said, if you would have seen it, I also was thinking about that video. I was thinking, well, you know, it's one of those things too that you might have seen it with the sections. You might have just also say, hey, can you run a tape measure on real quick and just say, you know, roughly what size is it, right? I mean, it's like my buddy always told me, you know, he says, Dave, he says, everybody's got a tape measure. And if they don't got a tape measure, their neighbor's got a tape measure. Good point. Good, valid point. Tanner tried twice after that. He says, I would hope. He says they learned their lesson. Evan says, this is safe space, Dave. It's crazy. Your in-laws. Dude, it's nuts. People are just, I've had some really, so I had to put up signs actually at the shop. We had one time we had a van parked off to the side. It's just been sitting there, right? And I try to be a nice guy, right? I understand stuff happens. I drive old vehicles too, blah, blah, things happen, right? But here's the thing. If you drive an older vehicle, you know, have a piece of paper in there or something, even an envelope off the insurance or whatever, and have a pen. That way you can write a little note. Just say, hey, I'm sorry, my vehicle broke. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to get it towed. I'm going to get it fixed. I think it needs to start. Whatever, right? But I get these damn vehicles that just park. You know, one's parked off to the side, sits there for 2 days. I found out with the cops, at least, the cop has to be here present as it gets picked up. So the cop would come and then I'd be like, I got this random vehicle, like, I need it gone. Okay, well, and they'd tell me, they go, well, do you want to let it sit for maybe a day? I go, I let it sit for 2 days. Oh, okay, well, yeah, then we'll get it towed. You know, so then they come and they tow it. Another one was parked right in the middle of the damn driveway area. And It's like, dude, like you couldn't push this thing or make this thing like there's a field next to this place. You're gonna like you park. We got semi trucks that come in here. It's right in the way. So that one had to get towed. Another morning I come in here. It's early morning. I got my hot, you know. I think I'd probably had some hot chocolate or something, you know, hot cocoa. I come in. I'm having a good day. I come in and like there's a cart, but it's like partially in the ditch out there, partially. And I'm like, and I got all kinds of friends, and I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm thinking, like, did somebody drop a vehicle off that they're like, I'll park it here, I'm going to sell it? Because that's what it looked like how it was parked. It was parked kind of an angle, it was tipped down a little bit, and I thought, well, maybe they just try to get it out as front as they could for sale, right? I don't know. So I parked the truck, go up there, got my flashlight. I start looking around, right? I see the windows cracked in the back passenger. It's an SUV. I see the windows cracked. I see a dude sleeping. His hat's backwards or whatever in the seat, in the driver's seat, and I see a baby seat. I said, I'm out. I said, the cops can deal with this shit. I said, so I call a cop. It's a young cop. He comes, right, and I mean, we are slammed, dude. Like this place is hopping. We got so much stuff to do. We need like 5 more guys, and I'm just, you know, at the helm, you know, dealing with all of the pressures. And the cop comes in and he's like, he goes, could you give him a little tug? I'm like, sure, I can give him a little tug. I'm thinking if it was me or you know how it would be. You have to call truck. Sorry about your bad luck. You know, so I'm like, you know, I don't want to be bad to the cops. I'm like, yeah, so we'll give him a little tug. So what happens? We go out there, right? I give him a little tug on his vehicle. What does this guy do? He keeps backing up. He's my vehicle. And I'm like, as my other guy working here is yelling at him, you know, I pull him out. He's out, right? And he's out there waving at him. Stop, stop, stop. Boom, bumps into it. And I'm not even worried about my vehicle. All I'm worried about is this dude, I think, has got some kind of drugs in his system. He's intoxicated. I don't know. But now he's going to go home. And as he sobers up and he sees there's red paint on his bumper on his white car from my red van, it's going to turn into, he's come back and go, hey, man, I think you hit my vehicle. I bet, hell no, I didn't hit your vehicle. Like, you ran into my vehicle. You just don't remember it because you were, whatever, you were gone with the wind. And so anyways, that happened. The cop does his thing. The cop comes back. He goes, yeah, he lived right around the corner. So why the hell didn't he go home? Why was he in my parking lot? Why didn't he go home if he's right around the corner? Did he have like an alibi? Did he say he got in a fight with his wife? Why is he here? That to me is like he was impaired, lost, he got stuck. What the hell? You know, I mean, the parking lot's huge. I mean, there's no reason to hit that. And the cop's like, yeah, he goes, well, I couldn't really tell his eyes, you know, you can't have bloodshot eyes when you wake up and stuff. And I'm like, they would have put me in the clinker. You know what I mean? But this dude gets off free and clear. Another time, get a vehicle. I come to the shop. I'm like, what the hell's going on now? Parked right in the middle again. I realized that the license plate's gone. Didn't even dawn on me until I call the cop and we start walking around the vehicle. She goes, ooh, that's gross. I went, what's that? She goes, there's a ton sitting on the ground. And there's a screwdriver. And I went, well, it looks like obviously used a tampon. I said for, undoing the license plate, they didn't want to leave fingerprint. And then so she's looking it up and it's just, the list goes on, man. So I'm going to put out here, you know, like if you park here, we're towing you. And that seemed to help a lot. So it's just one of those things, right? Just like a gate, right? If you don't put a rope across, people just drive through. People are nosy. Learn their lesson. It says it's all, I get it, all the rural areas and sketchy alleys in CHI where you're carrying. Oh, I get it, man. It's just so hit and miss around at least our neck of the woods. And you just don't know. I've gone out to a lot of country areas, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it. You know, some people live like complete pigs, and you just never know what people are going to do, what their snap, what they're thinking, what their intent is. And for me, a lot of it's always been, it's not even so much like I'd rather just give somebody the money if they really need it, but it's just the time. You know what it takes to go to the store and get this stuff? To drive there, stand in line, purchase it again, the inconvenience, or you went to another job, and you don't have it. I've been there. You know what I mean? It's not fun. Dang, we got 15 likes tonight too. Like I said, maybe we'll go to about 11, maybe, or a little sooner, maybe. The hotline's been kind of quiet. What do we got here? What do we got? Oops. Where is cousin still paid me $400 for the whole job? Nice. I didn't have to burn my own gas. Cousin gave me the keys to his truck. Nice, nice. His debit card when I had to run an hour into town. Awesome. Hell yeah. That works out great. I'm glad to hear that. At least that went good. But that's why, see, now you know though, Evan, that's why like Uncle Dave is always pictures. And like I said, even for Evan or for anybody else that's watching, like if you got my number stuff, that's why it's like you're really better off sending me pictures, because my brain does not process like when somebody's sitting there even talking to me on the phone, or like, well, I'm doing this, and I'm like, I need to see the picture. Like if I see there's headroom, I see it's open rafters, if I see what kind of opener it is, I see the problem, like it just snaps in my head. I go, oh yeah, I can see exactly where you got the problem. And pictures can do so much, right? You can see the clutter, you can see whatever, man. There's so much. Does it have a strut? Does it have an operator bracket? Is there headroom above the door? There's just so much more. Is it concrete or is it dirt floors? I love pictures. I just wouldn't even deal without pictures. And it's funny how still people don't really want to, like, I got some stuff I do, through the Facebook world and stuff. Like I'll explain to them kind of like, basically you need to send me pictures or we're not playing ball. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're almost like they're hesitant. I'm like, look, you can send me really like generic pictures. I'm not going to come like take your house, or whatever. And you don't have to put your address in there and stuff. Evan's guys, is my cousin's mind was blown when I walked into the garage, said my hellos, and looked up and one door and said spring is on backwards. He's like, I've had the door for 10 years and had contractors who couldn't figure it Oh, yes, it's amazing how many times people put on the springs backwards, man. I tell you, it's I still remember couldn't figure it out. He says, I figured it out in 30 seconds. Awesome, man. Good for you. So Evan, do you remember what gave it away for? Was it like, did you just look at the tip, or was the spring in that weird buckle state, has the weird kinks in it? And that's, what made you go, yeah, spring backwards? Or did you just check, verify 2 points of, normally I can tell by the spring if it looks funky. And then obviously I look at the tip. But I remember when I was down on vacation and down in Ohio, and I remember that happened to where, of course, I'm in flip-flops and I'm in shorts, and they're like, you do garage doors? I'm like, yes. And they're like, can you look at our garage door? I'm like, I don't really want to look at your garage door. And then, of course, like a goat farm or whatever, it's got, dirt floors. I'm looking at the springs. I'm like, yep, springs are on backwards. I'm like, oh, I ain't got the right tools. I don't got my gloves. I'm just like up there sweating to death. They're being, how it is. It's like people are so helpful, but it's like they just really can't do nothing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the fire department the one time. I had to go there. I locked up my scissor lift in another shop. I was like, oh, I'm going back tomorrow or next week or whatever. It was on a weekend maybe. And the fire department calls us, and they got a door with the cables off, and they got 2 I-beams that run up the side of it. I was this close to just walking. I was always thinking how I could put a harness on, and I was just going to walk on top of the door. The door was all the way up, stuck. And I was like, I'm just going to walk on the door. I was like, that's dangerous as hell, but I'm just going to walk on the door. I'm so irritated. I cannot get to it. They had a jack shaft opener. I could not get into I could not get the cables and stuff back on. And I just had these adrenaline pumping, firemen they're amazing men, but they're just down there like, can we help you? And I'm like, there ain't much to do. I'm like, get me a damn scissor lift. They're like, we can get the engine truck over here. And I'm like, I really don't want to be in an engine truck bouncing in a ladder truck trying to get up in here And the problem is I just can't get up in here. You know what I mean? That was the problem. I mean, everywhere I do the extend ladder, and I was so crying because my scissor lift was just a corner in a building that was locked up. They didn't have a third shift. And I was just like, my poor scissor lift. If I could just put it outside, I was like, I could go get my scissor lift and my life would be so much easier. And we got it, but then they let me use one of their ladders. And I don't know what's up with firing, but the runs are way wide. I don't know if that's so they can get up them quicker. But that was a night for me to climb because I'm used to a standard ladder with shorter steps, man. And I'm just like, every time it's like, it's like, it's like exerting more energy. And I'm like, no wonder the regular ladders aren't like this. If you're a contractor, you'd be dead. Every big lug you have to make. Going for speed, I'm going for stamina, Oh, so back cone was on. Oh, okay. I was on the inside left. I gotcha. See, I never. I'm glad. Like I said, you guys will have to let me know. But I don't do the cone colors. I don't ever look at colors. I tell you, is it black on the left and red on the right? I don't even know. I always have to look at the drums. I have to look at the spring. It's not really. I don't think it's right or wrong. Maybe it's a little bit more bulletproof because what if they spray wrong, or I don't know if anybody's ever had that problem before. So it's just interesting. There was no tension on it either when I arrived. Was closed, so I didn't need to get it down. Nice. Oh, that's really good. That's the best feeling, especially in the garage door world, is when you got the doors down. I tell you, the worst, obviously when the door is halfway up, the door is all the way up, that is the worst, in my opinion. I've never had more, they have problems, don't get me wrong, but I tell you, I've never had more like when the door's up, you get that kind of, that throat, when you look at it, especially if you're by yourself, that's the worst. Or if you don't have the right like scissor lifts or stuff like that. Oh man, it's bad. Kevin's got, what has he got? What's up, Kevin? You been hanging out? Always look at the spring, most residential, universal. That's a good point. And I've never cared when I've made springs, I just use whatever. Like you said, they're universal. I just slip them on. So that is a good point. I'm glad Kevin brought that up. That is a very, another thing that's always helped me out when I was kind of starting out. Like I said, I'm kind of simple brain, right? I always did everything. I built everything back behind the door as I was like, I always thought of it as like I was doing like a curl up with a bar, dumbbells or whatever you call it. I'm doing a curl up, right, and I'm gonna install it. That's how I always looked at it. I'm gonna pick it, I'm gonna install it. So that way I always got my bracket right. If it has a little cutout on it, your center bracket for spring, I'd make sure my springs are turned the right way. I would make sure my drums, in my head, I'd sit there and go, okay, the spring winds this way. I tighten it, it's gonna make the tube, and the cables are gonna go this way. So those are on right. I know they're more easier because you can typically look at them. They say them the right way, right? They're left, right. It's like, I don't know where the garage door springs ever got so screwed up, how it's left hand's obviously on a right, but a right hand's on, I don't know where that ever happened or why that happened, but it is what it is. We just have to live with it. My thing always, what I was always taught, I don't know if Evan's been around and I've talked about it, put it up to your belly button, put the spring, stand it up on its end, whatever, and look at it. And whatever way it's pointing at your belly button, that's a right hand. This is a left hand. Whatever that end, that tip is. He might already know this. So. So I don't know what Contractor was thinking, but there's a quarter gap, it says, on top of the door as well. Cousin wants to fix before I put side mount on that door as well. Oh, side mount. As well, fix his pulley system. Says for hunting season because the cable for his winch goes above horizontal tracks and the doors catches an inch. Oh, yeah, it's hard to. It's always hard to those contractors, man. I tell you, it's hard to know what they do. I've seen Amish do pretty crazy stuff too. They seem to do okay for. I've noticed like like the garage doors, but openers, they seem to really murder those things a lot. So that's something to, but I don't think I've seen any pictures of that when it came through, like I said, of the for the hunting, and you got the cable and the winches and stuff like that. People do some pretty crazy stuff. There's no doubt about it. Oops, hang on, let me jump back here. Oops, let's go back to here. Oops. Sorry, I'm messing with something here. Chat. Welcome. What did I mess up here on this? I feel like the chats are off on this thing. This is weird. What did I do? Okay. Here we go. Now we're getting better on this. Okay. Yeah, but that is a country contractor I'm referring to, who's usually Leroy 3 miles down the road. Ooh. Oh, look at this one. Oh, we know how this one goes. Let's go like this, because we know that's going to be fun. It's getting that be that time. 3 miles. So he's, what is 3 mile contractors referred to, who's usually Leroy. He says, oh, 3 miles down the road. Oh, the good old Leroy. Kevin thinks the left right came from the old timers. Okay, that used to mount stationary cones. Oh, you know what? Ooh, man, Kevin, man, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's a good, that's a good point, because I have dealt with the Crawfords, and I, you know what? That makes sense. Makes sense. Man, that's interesting that you said that. Makes me wonder. You know, I mean, I guess I understand why, because in Spring in the Center you get the support, but it does make you wonder sometimes, like why we still don't kind of have them mounted. I mean, I guess because you got the drum on the outside, probably on the outside, right? That's probably why. The old Crawfords, man. I carry a special spring for that Crawford. That Crawford was man, it was tough. It was tough. It was always a weird size, and then it was, what was it, like 1.7/8 for inner diameter. It's hard because you get some of those old Crawfords, and the people have an overhang on them. They'd have like a 4-foot overhang on a wood door with like even maybe gutters, and the door was in mint condition. And I couldn't convince myself to be like, you need a new garage door, even though I wanted to, because the thing was so old, but it was in such good shape. You know what I mean? And like, it was like these people would always tell me about their kids all grew up, and oh yeah, my kids used to shoot hockey pucks against it all the time. That's why there's a few dents on here. And I'm just like, dude, you can't do that with the new doors. Like the metal ones, it'd be all dinged up. I mean, I've had guys, most of the time, luckily the kids moved out and they were replacing the door. And they were like, I'd be like, oh, like there's a few dents in this old wood boy, and they'd be like, you think my grandkids could like shoot hockey pucks at it like my kids used to? And I was like, no, don't do that. It'll be all dented up. You can't do that kind of stuff. Let me grab this real quick. So anywho, does anybody got anything lined up for the week? Any big projects going on? Before we sign off, like I said, I'll probably shoot to about 11, and then we'll get off to our Monday start and see how things are going. Anybody got any jobs, any doors? If you do, always remember, you can always send me some pictures. If you need my number, shoot me an email. I'll give you my number. My phone number. You can always text me at it. I love the pictures. Like I said, Evans was that was pretty cool. I liked watching. He had a little clip. That's pretty cool about the pictures. And I was like, yep. I've been there enough times where it's like, I need pictures. And then it's always great because when you still have somebody to send you a picture, you can always What I haven't gotten good about is being like where I have my own little protocol. I think I did. I don't remember if I did it on or not, but I wanted to have something where I could like send to a customer and say, "This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a side shot. I'm looking for this shot." Actually, no, I think I maybe take. I just haven't released it. I don't think I ever sent a video. And I thought, well, I want this for myself. You know what I mean? So I can send it to customers and say, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a side. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the outside. Because they'll send you some weird ones. And you're like, what is this? Like, why do I want I don't need a picture of the back hangings. I need to see the front. I need to see what the springs are. I need to see, or they send like a picture of like the sticker on the garage door. And it's like, eh. Dun, 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 dun. I still got to get down to the old brother-in-law. He's got a problem. I stapled the crap out of it, but I didn't bring it with me. I was gonna say I got the new little trick tester I'm gonna try out that I seen from Papa Tony. So I'm gonna try that out. That helps out because it could be a can of worms. I annihilated it pretty bad, pretty bad. Da-da. I'm sure Tanner's got some big old doors he's doing this week. Oh. Like I said, plus I really appreciate it. We got 15. And if you guys think of anything too on that video I just released, let me know. Let me know. That plastic thing is really important. I'll just take a look with you guys real quick while we're winding her down here. Oh, I gotta get rid of those tires here. Don't mar up the wall. I'll see if I still got those plastic pieces. Oh, you know what? And I forgot. We should check out the scrap hopper because I haven't watched that. I'm not seeing them right off. I had a box. No. These are those plastic pieces that are nice to have though. For the Menards. I guess you can just buy them. Oh, I guess I do have them. Look at that. I'll be darned. Son of a biscuit. Huh. I thought I had some of those. Those things I used to put them on the T-rails all the time. Oh, man. It's always fun being at the shop at night. It's so quiet. During the day, UPS is coming and semi-trucks, and it's just nice to know that this place can rest. We're gonna go check her out here. Don't fall on my face. Flip the camera around here for you. If I did that correctly, I did. Let me get you a little light here to be polite. Oh my God, I just freaked out for a second. They widened it out. Cats, I had them put it over farther. Oh my God, I said somebody stole the dumpster. Let's take a look. No, they moved it over for wintertime, probably plowing. They got this place looking good, man. Got stuff all tidied up. All right, let's take a look. Oh, ooh, there's that clutch. I should take that with me. He was having problems with that. Oh, here we go. What the hell is this one? Look at this one. What is that? Is that an overhead? Got a LiftMaster. Look at that. Oh yeah, see, I was talking about in that video. Those gears, baby. Got some pipe. Got a spring. Ooh, there's the All-Star, huh? All-Star. Photo eyes. Must be an All-Star. Maybe that. What is that one? I'm gonna go on the other side here in a second. Got fuel. God, that's a big old long spring. Look at that thing. Huh. All right, let's go around. Ooh, man, there's a foul order. Told me somebody's crapping in the woods. I believe you. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, that's a gem right there. All banged up. That's a 3rd horsepower one. Liftmaster. I can't say I've ever seen this one. It looks, boy, that trolley looks a lot like, goodness, that looks like a Stanley. It's got the round. No, that's not a round tube. I thought it was. It's a T. Okay. Look at this thing. It's even got a connector on the side. What? Man, look at this. Huh. Look at that. I'll be darned. Oh, the camera doesn't like being turned. Very interesting. This is good for me. I haven't looked in here either, so this is kind of fun. I don't know what that is. That's a Liftmaster. Boy, Liftmasters have been taking some hits. Another Genie Weenie. Those were noisy boogers, but man, they were tanks. They'd plow through a lot of stuff. I might take that sprocket. Let's see if I can reach the old sprocket there. There's your torque master. Oops, sorry. I really don't like that. I wish this thing was tipped. It's full of water. It is what it is. Ooh, there's like a old Crawford. Shipping container. Okay. We'll walk back in. Do a little investigation on this thing. I apologize for the blackness. Hopefully you can still hear me. I got too much stuff in my hands. I'm gonna grab this sprocket though I want to take a look at it. Cap was having problems. He jammed it down. It was for a gate operator. And I told him, I said, the roll pins are known for crushing in these things. They're a real booger to fix. And he said, I just changed out the whole shaft. So I want to investigate this to see, because I struggled with this too. All right, here we go. Let's throw this back in here. I'll check out your guys' comment in a minute here. Ah, fudge. I'm not used to getting dirty anymore. God darn it. Somebody's going to have to pay for that. All right. Let's flip you around here. There, guys are. Whew. Feels good in here. Definitely not going to lie. Okay. What's Rusty got? Dave, do you ever think there will be a day when vintage openers will be worth money? Ooh, that's a good question. And we have been throwing them away for years. I tell you what, somebody should do like a, you know how they do like the snowmobiles and they do like the motorcycles? That's a great question. You know what I mean? I it probably will. It'll be a day, where we're like, oh, I used to tear those things out with, and the old kid or something's asking, what'd you do with them? Man, we just threw in the scrap hopper, I wouldn't doubt it. There's fridges. They do them on the fridges, right? People like that old vintage fridge stuff. It's just too bad to, don't really have a spot to, I'd keep them if I had like a storage unit or something. It's just hard when they're not in use. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, they're not being used. What's it got, Peter? What's up, Peter? I think I've seen you all night. I know if the door is balanced correctly, the horsepower doesn't matter much. But what horsepower is the minimum for real life? Ooh, I don't know if Rusty's still in the chat on this or any of the guys. That's a good question. You know, just in general, I mean, I look at it and I know it's for me. I just always have been. I've always basically grew up on the half horsepowers through the business. So, you know, they had always like those LiftMaster, those third horsepowers and stuff like that. I'm just a half. Like the half just covers everything. I don't even know what kind of cost savings there was at the time to do a third versus a half. If it was like 10 or 20 bucks, to me, that's just not even worth it. I know a lot of them can change, you know, but the big thing is obviously having it balanced. And then you have to, most manufacturers nowadays always have a certain weight or size that opener is able to do. So you just have to look at size they can do. Rusty's guy says, I've seen plenty of third horsepower LiftMasters from the early 90s, and they worked fine. Exactly. You know, on small, it was just, for me, like I said, 16 by 7 and bigger and stuff like that was half, or like if you could do 3/4. But you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, or if you come across something, email it to me and all stuff like that. It says no audio. Hopefully we got audio. Let me check. Maybe it's back on. Sometimes it's delayed. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's showing up supposedly. What you gotta, like I said, find out through the manufacturer what they can do. Obviously, I'm always like, I'd rather be a little overkill than underkill. But I've heard this stuff has changed. I haven't really followed up on it, but it's kind of like I feel it's like, what is it they call it? Like there's the R value, there's the U value. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, what is it? You know what I mean? So the horsepower, I've heard from guys out, you guys have told me before, some guys say the horsepower doesn't even matter. It's whatever. So I more or less always pay attention to what the manufacturer recommends it can do. So if I got a 400-pound door and it says it can do 400 pounds, you know what? I think I'm gonna find one that can do at least 500 or 600 pounds, just to be a little overkill because it's lugging all that big weight. So that's just kind of my opinion. Typically, honestly, I think if you go with a decent brand, that always helps out too. Find a good manufacturer. I think it's kind of the same thing like with tires. Tires, same thing. If you buy the cheap knockoffs and they're from whatever, you might get what you pay for. You know what I mean? So always just try to buy what's appropriate, do your homework. That's the big thing, right? Just like with anything, vehicles, everything you got to do your homework. And there's no reason not to do it anymore, because now you have YouTube University, and you can learn so much nowadays, especially if you're looking at something that's a little bit, I kind of feel like with the more gray hairs I get, I don't like new stuff anymore. I really don't like new innovative stuff because it has not been proven. And I do not like being the guinea pig. I do not like spending my hard-earned money and finding out, oh, it's got a glitch. Oh, it's got a problem. Oh, it's kind of like, right, guys? Like, what is it with the LiftMaster, the Mac, like now they're going back to the 5.0 for a while or whatever, right? I don't want to be, like I said, even Cap, he said, and he goes, I went to price it out. I went to price it out at our local vendor, which is the best one in the state, right? And he goes, it was way more expensive. He goes, I'm good. He's like, I'm just going to stick with the Genies. He said, the price point's good. We have no problems with the commercial ones. Obviously, got to buy the high-end one. Don't buy the middle of the road one. But I was like, yeah, why fix it if it's not broke? I mean, so, I guess I think they were having problems with, Steve was saying that the lady there was telling him about something about wall buttons and stuff. And I explained to him some of the stuff I've been hearing from you guys about wall buttons actually activating the door and just opening the door randomly and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I was on the residential. He said so far they've been pretty good with the residential openers. They've had not too many, but he goes, the price point's just too much for the ones. He says, why am I going to do that? Pay that extra. What's Kevin got? I see Peter says, never mind, it's my audio, my phone. Well, that's good. It's the same motor, just different. Oh, capacitor. Okay, that increases the horsepower and startup. Ah, see, I remember hearing something about that. I didn't know about the capacitor, but I feel like I remember the motor being the same. So that makes sense. You don't have the extra horsepower the whole cycle. Gotcha, gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. And like I said, with a capacitor, especially even back in the day, I don't remember what the numbers were. I feel like it was like 10, 20 bucks is what they would get you for. So I mean, when I was like, really trying to pinch the pennies and trying to make every job like okay, that job, like they don't really need a half horsepower. It's only a 9x7 door, non-insulated. Let's give them the third horse. But then I realized that it was more headache than it was worth. It was just better to go across the board with maybe 3 options. I'd rather almost be down to 2. You kind of have your cheap version, and then to me, I look at even if I have a cheap garage door opener, it's including light bulbs, it's including some angle, like an angle iron kit. That's all included. It includes 2 remotes, it includes the outside keypad. I'm kind of curious with any of you guys that are still left on the stream here, do you like them not having the keypad or do you miss having the keypad? Because I kind of like not having to install them, ain't gonna lie, but I miss them. Like I know, like if I was a customer, I love an outside keypad. Like it is so, if you're working around the house and you don't have your phone on you, internet's down, it stops by, all these different things where you just tell them the code, you can get in, they got to do what they got to do. Or if you're doing something in the yard, the door's down, I just look at it like it's just another way for them to save, money and to kind of, oh, look here, use your phone. Amazing. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of cheesy in my opinion. So I guess I kind of like to know what you guys thought. Would you rather have a keypad, not have a keypad, really care, like the phone better? Just kind of my thoughts on it. But yes, so the startup was it. So Rusty's got yes. He says I miss the 2 remotes and keypad. I agree, Rusty. I agree, man. That's why, like I said, for me, what worked really good is we went through everything, and I literally, like I said, I just made everything systematic. That's what I was always trying to do with garage door manufacturer. Rich B's actually got a good manufacturer down there that he uses, but just trying to get everything. Like I want it to come with a side lock. I want it to come with the good rollers. I need handles. I need inside handles for pulling it down for the side lock. I just rather have them than not need them. Like I used to have a lot of nuts and bolts extra too. Now I'm always, every time I do track bolts, I'm always short on track bolts. And I'm like, what the hell what's wrong? Why am I short on track bolts? They're always shorting me on track bolts. I used to have a 55-gallon drum out here, half full with legs. I still get a few random ones, extra, but man, I used to get so many extra parts, it seemed like, that it almost make you sit there and scratch your head and go, holy crap, what the hell did I forget to install? I got so many extra hardware here, nuts and bolts, and that was kind of nice. It was a nice, I'd rather have it than not have it. So these manufacturers have gotten so skimpy nowadays that it kind of irritates me that we live with, now it's like, like that's why I also try to keep the box, like with one customer, I think the one I just did, that I just uploaded that video. I literally put the box up above. That was another reason. For one, if she has an issue. For two, if she calls me or texts me or whatever and says, hey, this didn't come with a second remote. And I'm like, nope, it didn't. I know this has been a little bit of time. It was sitting in your garage, blah, blah, blah. The box is up in the rafter. Go look at the box and you'll see there's a picture on it. And sometimes what I even do is I even take a picture of the box so that way I can send it to the customer if they have that we have that conversation so she don't have to go up in the rafters. But I can say, nope, right here on the box. See, it's only 1 remote. There's no keypad. It's got the photo eyes. It's, you're supposed to use your phone. And then they can rest assured, because that was something that drove me nuts when I used to do a lot of the industrial, not industrial, but the residential ones. And even when I would just try to do the cheapest version, they could not understand when I give them 1 remote. They go, where's the other one? And they were so programmed, right? It's like society, right? Who controls the media controls the masses. So watch what you watch. And so they go on they see the remotes and everything, and they would always be like, where's the second one? They always look at me like a criminal. There's not a second one? I'm like, not when you buy a professional series, you know what I mean? And so that would be like, I tell them, and it's kind of hard to sell sometimes when you're like, well, it's going to be another $40, $60. And you're like, 40 or 60? And they're like, you didn't, whatever. But if I just include it, it's a $15, $20 item. I really don't care. Like I said, you mark it up a few extra dollars, whatever. There you go. You're good. You got everything. You got your outside keypad. You got light bulbs. You don't have to, all these things are brand new. They should be fine. All kinds of weird stuff. All right, you guys. I think we're going to wrap her up. I don't see nobody else chatting in there too much. I don't think nothing's too crazy. Just remember, if you come across anything, Rusty, I always appreciate it. Evan, all you guys actually that send me all the videos. I got some from Tony because I know he's traveling, so that's why he's not here tonight. Because I know he showed me the one I think at the gas station. I think Richie sent me something on it too. Pretty cool though. I love seeing those pictures. So, but I'm gonna cut out of here. We can call it early night. Hopefully everybody has a super good Monday. Otherwise, let me know. Emails in the description, the Daveadubson@gmail.com. You can always email me. Like I said, got anything? Let's talk about it. Talk to you later, guys. I'm out. Have a good night. Have a happy Monday. Social media, love it, Kevin. When it says, I hear Dave is trying to control ATA minds, through the social media. All I know is we need the young tradesmen to come in. We need them. We need them. We need to teach young kids, man. All they do is play on their phone nowadays. That's it. We need them to get their hands dirty. College doesn't mean everything. We need those people. There's people. But like I said, like Ty Lopez always said, right? When you go to college, you need to be laser focused. A laser can cut through steel, right? A light bulb just lights up a room. So when you do those things, you got to be laser focused. Peace out. Take care. See you, Kevin. Maybe. How do you not be rude and put your finger in front of it?